I'm Jay Wagner from Switzerland. I'm 28, still in my master's, and I've been one of the initiators and managers of the Swiss referendum campaign, which happened, the vote happened on 5th of June, so 4 weeks ago. And I'm really glad that it happened, and it was very successful as well. So looking back at the intensive time of work with the issue of basic income and with many people together. So for me, in the beginning, that was maybe 5 years ago, I was very critical about the policy. Yeah, I think in the beginning for many it's like that, because you think, yeah, this is crazy, or how should this be possible, right? The point where I started to be involved was really to take action. So they asked me, can you help us with the signature collecting, right? And building up a movement that can actually be successful in this process. And so I'm more an organizer. I like to organize things. And as soon as it was practical and concrete and something you can actually do, and the signature process is really something you have to do, because otherwise there won't be a vote. So I was more and more affiliated with that, and then more and more I think the basic income is not just a policy or a solution to a problem, but it's more a thought that is very powerful, and as soon as people know about this idea, they will there's no way to get rid of it, right? You can't really jump off. That's also a really interesting thing in the voting process, because the approval rate, the yes votes, were really low in the winter. They were around 10-12%, and then it grows and grows, and that's not the normal thing that happens. Normally in Switzerland, what happens is at the beginning you have a high voting outcome, and then it keeps going down, because people realize, oh, this has implications of that. This is maybe something negative. There's something negative there. And with the basic income, it's upside down. It's a very small portion of the population actually thinks this is the future. And then as soon as more people pick up the idea, it grows and grows. So I like this movement that can actually grow, and it's not a small thing we want, right? It's not. We don't want to change a small thing. It's a vision, and with that vision, it can really spread really quickly and fast. And I like that about the basic income. Yeah.
Yes, my name is Amira, and I'm the director. I'm from Germany. And I'm the director of an NGO in Berlin that's dealing with basic income, and our name is My Basic Income. And what we actually do is we crowdfund money, and every time that we collect a sum of 12,000 euro, which is 1 year basic income in Germany, we raffle it out to someone who's signing up on our webpage, and then they get 1 year basic income. I think that a lot of people in Germany are really frustrated with the political situation because the welfare state is really decreasing. We have a lot of poverty, especially amongst children, because a lot of people are unemployed and the unemployment numbers are increasing. And we have certain different social issues in Germany, and basic income is something that could at least change a lot of these issues for the better. And so there's more and more people in society being pro basic income, and I think they like our project because what we do is, instead of creating statistics of what would people do, we actually tell them what people would do. We're not discussing it on an academic level, but we're actually sending out messages and stories of what people actually do when they get basic income. And I think for a lot of people in society, that's more emotional to see that, oh, this guy, when he gets basic income, that's what he does, or this woman is doing that. That's just relating. For them, it's more resonating than just using statistics and data, something more dry.
My name's Dr. Elise Klein. I'm a lecturer at the University of Melbourne in Development Studies. Well, there's many aspects of why I think basic income is fascinating. I think globally, and as a development studies scholar, you're always asking questions about, how you think about global redistribution and how we can think about, development more broadly, because I think we're seeing over and over again the failure of Western modernity with sort of the limits of capitalism, the limits of neoliberalism, clearly climate change, and just extraordinary mass inequality. We must start to think about, what other ways we can propose and to think about life that's just and fair for everybody across the world. Previously, so I guess it's important to acknowledge that Australia is a settler society, so it is a society that colonised Aboriginal people and took people's sovereignty from them, and that sovereignty has never been returned. And so there is a constant tension with the settler Australian state and this push from many Aboriginal peoples for self-determination and freedom. Myself, but also my colleague, Professor John Altman, wrote for this Congress, was one asking about a very particular employment program called the Community Development Employment Program that was implemented in 1977, but unfortunately was abolished around about 2004, or winded back and now abolished. And this program was acted in parts like a basic income, not a universal basic income, but a basic income. It allowed Aboriginal people to be paid for their productive labour, which was not necessarily within the formal economy, but was a very important, valued, productive labour in communities. It helped support people in living on country, and it was flexible, and so it helped support people in their sort of cultural obligations and supported people in their aspirations. And so the paper we were arguing was, there was elements of the CDEP program that perhaps could be reinvigorated, thinking about, the continual need to push for sovereignty and Aboriginal real self-determination in Australia, that perhaps the basic income idea is an important idea in thinking about some of the ways in which could provide Aboriginal people with economic security. Yeah.
Okay, well, my name is Karl Widerquist. I'm co-chair of the Basic Income Earth Network. I am associate professor of philosophy at Georgetown University's School of Foreign Service in Qatar. So I work in Qatar in the Middle East. I've written or edited several books on basic income. It's one of my primary topics of research, and I do a little bit of organizing work for it as well. I'm one of the original editors of Basic Income News. usually at BN, there's usually been one male co-chair and one female co-chair. And Louise is the female co-chair right now. She's, she was unable to make it to this conference, unfortunately. Now, in my vision for BN is that BN does not lead the movement. BN is the only worldwide organization that is devoted to basic income. But that doesn't mean that BN gives orders and that all those local, regional, national organizations do what BN says. And that would be a bad idea because we could choose the wrong strategy. And as a matter of fact, there's probably a different right strategy for every country. And the people in BN are never going to know that. So BN should not lead the movement. BN should serve the movement. People are going to have all these different needs at all the local levels, and BN has to figure out how can we serve that movement. And what I've suggested that we do is we need to focus on basic income news. You might be familiar with, it's an English language website that reports news from all over the world just on basic income. Not things that are similar to basic income, because if we did that, there'd be 100 times more of that than everything on basic income. We report just on basic income, but we get the facts out. It's not propaganda, it's the facts. If you want to know what's going on in basic income around the world, you can find that on basic income news. BN can do that, and not a lot of other people, not a lot of other organizations could or would do that. I grew up in America in the 1970s and 80s, right after the civil rights movement. And I grew up in a very integrated community where there are lots of whites and blacks living together very well. And I grew up thinking that racism was solved in America. And I knew about Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement. And it seemed like, we saw, naively as a child, we solved this difficult problem of racism. What is the next most important thing we need to do? And for me, in my country at that time, it is poverty. Is the way we treat poor people is like the way we treated black people after the civil rights struggle. Is that poverty is something that should be unacceptable in a society as wealthy as ours. It's wrong for one person to make another person live in poverty and destitution. And so I grew up thinking that. And so when I found out about basic income, I was very interested in this. This is a way to help people without judging them. Because I think that's what's wrong with the welfare states that we have over most of the world today, is that we want to judge the poor. We want to say these are the good poor and those are the bad poor. And we only want to help the good poor. And we want to teach these people lessons and usually the lesson that we want to teach those bad poor people is you need to work for us. You need to be our servants. You need to do what we tell you. Well, that's a very self-serving idea of what it is that this person needs. So that is what drives me, this idea that poverty is something that can be solved. And that in order to really solve it, we have to stop sitting in judgment of the poor and stop thinking we're better than they are.
我叫神光秋谷，我来自台湾，然后我是原本在台湾的师范大学工作，然后当我去年在那个网络上看到那个有关瑞士基本收入公投的新闻，我就觉得台湾应该也要有这个基本收入，所以我就辞掉我的工作，就全心投入那个台湾基本收入推动的活动。现在就是我其实刚开始看到那个新闻的时候，我就开始上网去搜寻台湾有没有基本收入协会，因为我想加入，结果半个都没有，所以我就只好那时候刚好又认识了我的老师曹俊奇中医师嘛，然后他是对组织社团是非常有经验，所以刚好他就教我可以成立一个社团，所以我们就自己成立一个社团，就在脸书上招募发起人，然后就是可能也是天助神助，就是一下子原本刚成立的时候没有什么反应，但是过了几个礼拜就突然涌入1000多个人，我也觉得太神奇了。对，那时候那个台湾知道基本收入的人不多，但是现在有慢慢比较就是热烈讨论了。 对，因为我们还有去蔡英文的脸书我们还有办联署，就是好，因为台湾其实社会上是很多犯罪，也是很多贫穷啦，所以我觉得基本收入如果实现的话，它是可以降低台湾的犯罪率，还有就是让人有饭吃，这是对啊，因为你看到路上有一个那个乞丐，也是自己也是会觉得很难过，对啊，就是人逆己逆，人饥己饥的，对啊，就是会想要让每个人都有饭吃，对啊，然后还可以降低台湾的那个犯罪率，因为很多人他是逼不得已他去犯罪，可是如果他有饭吃，他是不会去犯罪的啊，他不需要去抢劫，他也是因为小孩肚子饿啊什么的啊。
My name is Cheng Furui. I'm from China, and currently I'm doing the postdoctoral program in the Chinese Academy of Social Science, and the topic is about the basic income. In fact, yesterday I made a presentation about my research. The title is the effects of social dividend on citizens' working quality. Yeah, it's a case study in local China from a village. All the villagers have more than 20 years social dividend from their collective assets. And these assets is based on the collective land ownership of China countryside. Yeah, of course not. Not a little. And that's part of the reason I'm doing the research. We happened something. It happened something in China, but most people will not think it that way. Yeah. But in my opinion, that's the real social dividend thing. It's very basic income. But most people don't know the word basic income. Yeah, but they do something very similar.
Very similar with basic income.
Yeah, the things happened because in China we have so many collective owned ownership of land in countryside and national owned land in city, and so many state-owned enterprise. We don't need to create the new public assets. We have, it's there. So the important thing is we need the best way or the better way to use it. If the world is poor, for example, before the 19th century, I don't think basic income is that realizable. But now I think after this industrialization, the whole world is wealthier, and the whole GDP is rising enough to provide something for everybody. So now the problem is the poverty in the wealthy nations. So we have the ability to do that, but we just cost millions of dollars to test everybody who is poor under some standard of living level, and give them the very basic money for living. But this process is costly. We will give them 10 yuan, maybe it cost 1,000 yuan to make this process over. So we don't need that, and it's very, very anti-human nature, I think. Yeah. Humans should be cooperative and have some autonomy to do what they want. I think our whole society, the global society, has come to a point, come to a level that we can do something for everybody.
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 기본소득 청소년네트워크의 스밀라라고 합니다. 저희 단체는 청소년이 주축이 되어서 활동하는 기본소득 단체이고요. 기본소득과 관련된 여러 가지 콘텐츠를 생산하는 일들을 하고 있습니다. 이번 한국에서 열렸던 총회에서는 동아시아 활동가 게더링이라는 자리를 열었었는데요. 기존의 기본소득 운동이 유럽이나 북미를 중심으로 이루어져 왔어요. 하지만 아시아라는 특수한 맥락 안에서 기본소득 운동을 전개해 나가야 할 필요성을 느낀 몇몇의 아시아 활동가들이 아시아 네트워크를 만들어야겠다는 이야기를 했고, 이번 총회에서 그 첫 모임을 가졌습니다. 그래서 아시아에서 활동하고 있는 활동가들의 이야기를 담은 칼럼을 발행을 하고 있고요. 앞으로도 아시아 활동가들이 모여서 할 수 있는 활동들을 만들어 나갈 계획입니다. 제가 기본소득 운동을 하면서 더 드는 생각은, 물론 기본소득을 정책적으로 실현하는 것도 중요하지만 자신의 삶 안에서 기본소득이 어떤 의미인지를 발견하는 게 중요하다는 생각이 많이 들었어요. 내가 기본소득을 받았을 때 이렇게 살 것이다 라고 생각하는 것도 중요하지만, 저는 기본소득을 받았을 때 더 나은 삶을 살고 싶다는 열망이 자연스럽게 더 나은 사회를 만들고 싶다는 열망으로 이어진다는 생각을 하거든요. 그래서 기본소득을 지지하시는 여러분이 내가 기본소득을 받으면 좋겠다는 생각에 이어서 동시에 나는 기본소득이 실현됐을 때 이런 사회를 만들고 싶다는 꿈을 꾸시면 좋을 것 같다는 생각이 들고요. 기본소득을 상상하시면서 자신의 삶을 바꾸고 동시에 내가 속해 있는 공동체의 삶을 상상해 보실 수 있으면 좋겠습니다.